Okay, so I'm going to just revisit for you MindTap. You mentioned it's been a while, so I'll just kind of start from the beginning. So some of this might be useful, some of it might be re-going over stuff you already know. So I'm in your instructor account, and I've loaded the book for you here with the MindTap portal. So what you'll do is just say create a course and follow these prompts. And as you remember, probably it's pre-populated. So you actually do all the customizations. I'm just going to call this nutrition demo. I can get rid of this as soon as I'm done with this video from your account so that it's not here. So I'm just going to do those things. Students get free access for the first 2 weeks from the start date of the course with the instructions that you give them. So I just created my course. All my student instructions now are right here. They would essentially use this URL or the course key, which is essentially the same thing. Or you could print instructions here. Now, if I go back to my resource center, I can still always find those instructions right here under manage courses. My instruction will be right here along with my instruction link. You also can integrate the course into Blackboard if you wanted to. If you do that, they would not need any student link because they would directly go through Blackboard, so they wouldn't need any of the keys or anything. But you want to customize the course first, and if you decide you want to integrate it, let me know, and I will get you integration procedures. We also have a full range of training support if you are interested in having a one-on-one training with a product expert, or if you want to integrate and have someone walk you through the process, we can do all those things. So my course is here now. I'm going to click right into it. And again, I'll just delete this when I'm done here so that you don't have multiple things on your homepage. I just agree to these terms one time. Okay, so this is what MindTap looks like. Looks the same way for students, except that everything that you see is customizable. So you have the customizing functions. This is an at-a-glance gradebook that lives on this homepage. I prefer to not be here when I use MindTap. If you prefer the same, go to your name up here, course settings, and then click off this here under the dashboard. I just find that it's a little bit cumbersome to have that right there, when instead I prefer to just view my gradebook on the right side of the page here, which is my progress app. So this is how MindTap is laid out. Again, looks the same for students. Everything is customizable. We have the Diet and Wellness Plus Labs right here. Again, I just inherited nutrition literally a couple weeks ago, so I'm not sure how familiar I am with this, or I'm actually not. You may be from using it in the past, and if you need more information, I'm happy to help you with that. But I do know MindTap well. So again, MindTap is arranged then into chapters, chapter modules, and with the correlating activities. I can expand a module, and students will expect to see the same thing uniformly in each module or each chapter, so they know what to expect. It's pre-populated again, so you have the ability to edit and hide what you don't want. So we have a learning objectives folder, reading and quizzes, activity, study material, video, and animation. So students can open these. We have the learning objectives. That is the ebook, or part of the ebook will be right there. The reading and quizzes. So it looks like we have a pre-quiz. Even though it has a point value, this is listed as practice, meaning that it will not count towards their full grade, but we give them the opportunity to see the points so that if they're practicing, they can know, they can kind of grasp how they're doing. Once I go through everything, I'll remind you on how to edit. Then we have the chapter introduction. Students can actually take notes and highlights within the ebook here. So this is the ebook. The notes and highlights are translated over here into their study hub, where they can create study guides based upon the notes and highlights. Students can also have the ebook read to them, so they see that feature in there as well, and they can manipulate that via this here. So if they want to speed the reading up. So again, we have, it looks like a couple concept checks, practices integrated within each reading, and then we have a chapter 2 post test. This will be a count towards grade, by default 15 points, etc. Then we have our activities, case studies, right here, all counts towards a grade. Our study material, which will include the flashcards, the vocabulary, and some review questions. And then it looks like we have videos and animation for each chapter. So now, as far as how to customize, you want to make sure your edit tab's on right here. Once I turn my edit tab on, I have the ability to hide anything I don't want to use. So if there's something I don't want to use, it can even be on a full chapter level. So if I don't even want, for instance, the readings and quizzes, just for example, I could hide the entire thing. It gets rid of it off my page and the student's page. Let me collapse this really quickly. Go back to my chapter 2. Again, so maybe I don't want the study material. I can hide it. It gets rid of it completely. There we go. If I want to see what I've hidden, I can always say show hidden, and then that will show up here. Anything that says show is obviously hidden there. So students will not see it at all if you hide material. So we always encourage you to go through, kind of see what you like and what you don't, hide what you don't want to use first. But then I can edit. I can edit on any level. So I can edit on a chapter level or a folder level or an assignment level. If I, for instance, want to switch, let's see, the chapter post-test to be a different point value, or I want to put a time limit on it, I could go to edit here, and I do want to do this at the assignment level then. I'll go to the post-test, and again, this is actually where you would put your available and due dates as well, but you can do the due dates and available dates on a larger scale, and I'm going to show you that in a second, but you have the ability to manipulate the dates for specific activities. But I'll go to my edit options here, and then depending on what type of assignment it is, my options might be a little bit different, but it looks like these post-tests are made through our Cengage Now homework engine, which works very seamlessly. As soon as this loads up, you'll see what I mean. So by default, it looks like the post-test has a 1 time allowed, 15 point possible, no time limit, but maybe I want to give them instead 2. I want to switch it to 30. And then I can say, I want them to have 70 minutes. If they have multiple chances, you can decide if you want the best one or the last one, shuffle student questions, etc. So lots of ability to manipulate this. And then once I say done, those will fill. I'm actually going to give this a start and end date too, just for fun, so you can see what I mean. Students will not be able to get into anything, until the date is available. So they would see the assignment there, but they just will not be able to enter the assignment until it is available. So now what I've done is I've given that parameter. So students will see very clearly everything I've done to manipulate any kind of assignment. If I want to add to that description, I'm able to do that as well. Likewise, if you see something as practice, depending again on the assignment type, I might be able to move that into a graded mode. And I've done, like right now, I'm in a practice assignment. If I want it to be graded, I just check mark this off. And then again, I can manipulate everything the same way, and done. And then I have just turned now this assignment into a graded assignment. So it'll actually count towards the grade. So that is how we would manipulate. I've said that word 3 times in a couple minutes. I'm sorry. That's how we would work through the problems and customize those options as far as the grading goes. And I've also showed you how to hide things. Now, to start to add the activities to each chapter, the due dates, a lot of times, again, you can do that on the individual level, but it could take some time. But for instance, maybe you want all the readings and quizzes due at a certain time, or you want the whole chapter due at one time. If I click the box up here, it's obviously going to take everything below it. For instance, this will just take that. But if I actually click my chapter 2, it's going to take everything with it. I can batch action it. I can batch hide things too. So if I go through each chapter and click on what I can easily hide the same component in each chapter very quickly. But I'll go to edit dates. This is where I can put my start date and due date, save, and then it will populate to every single one of those items that I had here. So here we have all the start and end dates. So that's essentially how you would customize MindTap. There is the ability to add more content. So if you wanted to add more quizzes, maybe midterms, let me know if that's something you want to get into. You would do that through this tab here, where you can actually add outside sources. If you have something from your Google Drive or OneDrive that you want to add in, a lot of instructors don't use this as much if they're using the Campus LMS. If you're not going to use Blackboard, though, this can function in this kind of the same way, in that you can add your own items within the learning path. But there is a way, again, if you want to add more content than what's here, let me know. I don't want to overwhelm you in this one video with extra stuff, but there's the ability to add from the test banks and homework banks if you find that you want more content or you want to do something in a different way. Now, one thing to show you also, as you add available and due dates, students will be able to click into their calendar view, and in any given week, they'll be able to see what is due. So they can click in right during that do this through this calendar view as well. They can click right in. You can actually filter activities. So I don't know if there's any manually graded activities, but if you prefer to not have any, you can click this, the auto graded, so manually graded activities will go away. And then you can hide them if you want to as well. So that's kind of how the basics of how MindTap works. Everything can also be reordered through the edit tab. You can move chapter 2 above chapter 1 if you wanted to as well. And you can rename a lot if you'd like to, just by digging into the little edits here. On the right side of the page, just to refresh your memory, you do have your content. So that would be anything that you load from your Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive. Students can take notes and highlights that flow into Evernote. There is an RSS feed tab here, glossary. This Applia and Cengage Now homework tab, these are just really where you would create those extra assignments. If I click, into my Applia tab, I actually will also see what is built within the learning path that is created off of this one homework application. So we have two different styles of homework applications. And so you'll see that these are all here. You can actually edit them through here. You can edit the content as well. You can just edit point values and delete as well. But again, I don't want to get into too over your head. I just want to let you know that those are what those two apps are for manipulating some of the content in another way. There's a portfolio link here that students can use after the class is concluded. A full ebook, rather than how we parse it into chapters, that's a full ebook view is right here where students can search by key term, page number, etc. Let's see, we do have the Diet and Wellness Plus app. And flashcards are right here. And then the Progress app, which is where you'll be able to, students will self-enroll into the class. You will be able to pull all kinds of great analytics, see where students are struggling, how much engagement time they have in the class, etc. So that is all right here. Again, let me know if you want further training with a product expert one-on-one in this kind of on a Zoom environment, or if you want to integrate this into Blackboard, there's a couple different options for that, but I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So hopefully this will give you a good overview or revisit of this. So let me know how we can move forward from here, how we can support the course. Okay, thank you so much.